So I think the rest will join us. Let me drop one more information on the group so that we can proceed.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So let's just proceed. The rest will meet us.
Okay, okay, sir.
Where have we gotten to on the learning? Normally now, everyone is supposed to be rounding up everything about Microsoft Excel this weekend particularly. So, and that means every topic has been covered on Microsoft Excel. Every topic has been covered, and in respect to that, that is where we are going to be doing some of these assignments together. And this first one, most of the assignments are based on logical functions and data cleaning. So let me ask, which level are you, or which topic are you, or are you actually part of the people that are following every week and then doing it accordingly, which means you must have catch up or finished with us.
I've been doing it at my own pace, but let me check. This is where I'm having a little bit of difficulty, and I've not been able to join most of the Zoom classes that you've held. So I apologize for that. It's due to work and other things.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So um, it's extracting quarter column from this column, and
Extracting
that's
column
down
from
to,
this count ifs.
yes, sir. Count, count if pivot tables.
That's pivot tables, not count ifs. If you are actually on how to extract quarter column from the table column, you are on pivot tables. So yeah,
Right.
quite frankly, that means you have moved past this particular topic we are about to do this assignment on. And yeah, the pay this is a pay reports data that was sent to us by our client, and these are some of the questions that we are to do. The first one,
Okay.
the first line. Now, every one of these questions, I have included them in the PDF. Yeah, I've included them in this PDF, but for ease and convenience, that's the reason why I used this text box to also include the question on this particular data set. It is not the same for the rest of the data sets, just only this one. And we have three exercises to do. This is the second exercise, exercise two, and also exercise three. And yeah, the first
Okay.
one we're going to be looking at is this pay report. And the question is pretty much straightforward. The first one says we should use VLOOKUP formulas to bring in the first and the last names of employees in the raw data extract session. Now, as a data analyst, there is a way you need to always think. The first way you need to always think is that whenever you get the data from a client like this, the first thing you need to do is to make sure you understand the data, you get yourself acquainted to the data, you know what is going on in the data, each column, each row, each cells, and what the data set is all about. And obviously, this is a payroll, a company's payroll with employees and the particular amount, the specific amount they earn as an employee. So we are to use the raw data extract table to find the employees that owns this ID. So which means we are given two separate tables. So we are asked to help them attach the names, or let's just call it biodata. And part of biodata is first name and last name. We are asked to help them attach their biodata to their ID. For instance, this first person here, this employee that is earning 84,289, we need to find the person's first name and the person's last name using this particular raw extract data. And don't forget that Microsoft Excel, like tech or basically data analytics, is all about automation. That is, you should always be looking at the bigger picture. So let's say the data set is very big, it's very huge. You can't be checking through this particular raw data extract because this one is small. So you can easily locate anyone that owns this number here. You can look for employee with the ID 990,678. And if you look through here, you see that employee, and then you see that employee is Pete Brad. But let's say your data set is very big. Like you're working with data set of about 200,000. You can't be checking one by one, one by one. That is where automation comes in. And to solve this particular one now, they said we should use VLOOKUP, specifically VLOOKUP to answer this question. And we know that the first name column is here and also the last name. So what we are going to do using VLOOKUP is what to say equals to VLOOKUP. And then what's going to be our lookup value? Now, in this kind of scenario, you need something that I called a primary table. I have also explained something like that in the content, in the topics on the platform. You need a column that is going to serve as a primary key. Going to serve as a primary key. And in this regard, your primary key is something that is always unique. A unique identifier that can be used to recognize or to find something. Right. So in this regard, this pay, we cannot use our pay column because pay column is not really unique. There can be more than 2 employees or 3 employees that will be earning the same amount, but there cannot be any 2 employees that will be holding the same employee ID. ID is unique to everyone. So that is why we are going to be employing our employee ID as our primary key. And in that regard, what is going to be our lookup value is our first primary key here, which is on cell F4. We are going to say F4. We're going to get our lookup value to answer all the parentheses of VLOOKUP. The first parenthesis is lookup value. Lookup value is what we are looking for. So that is why we're selecting on F4, comma. Then what is the table array? Now, before we even go into that, there is something I called on, what do you call it now? How to convert your data sets to table. And converting your data set to table gives you a whole lot of advantage. You can call on the table anywhere, search anything randomly on the table. And in that regard, that is the same thing we are going to be doing now. So we want to find out the first name and the last name of all of these people from this particular row extract table. So in that regard, we need to convert this particular data here. We need to convert it to the table. So you can just select any one of the cell and press your Control A. So Control A, you select everything, and then Control T is what we use to convert our table. Every one of these things has been done in the content on the platform. So by the time you click on Control T, it just pops up a pop-up and asks you, does your table has headers? Yes, my table has headers. These are the headers of the table: employee ID, last name, and first name. So I'm going to click on OK. And then I'm going to come here to my table name. And then I'm going to give this table my own choice of name. I don't want it to be named this default name of table one. So instead, I'm going to say, let me say extract one table. I'm going to hit enter. So I have renamed this particular table. I have renamed the table, and yeah. So now I can find the name of, I can find the first name of my employees. Good morning, Fatima. Welcome to class. Hello, can you hear me? Fatima, hello, hello, Fatima, can you hear me? Okay, yeah, good morning. I think your network or something. So let's come back to what we are doing. So to answer this particular question, so we'll go back to say equals to VLOOKUP, and then our lookup value, as usual, is our F4. This first employee here. So comma. Now Excel is asking us from this parenthesis of VLOOKUP that what is the table array? That is, from which table are you trying to look for this employee ID's first name? And don't forget, we just converted our data set to table here, and the name of the data set I will convert, the name of the data set, or the name of the table we converted from data set is extract one. So I'll just type extract, then I'll see extract one, then I'll select that, then comma again. Now, according to VLOOKUP, you need a column index. The column index is counting the numbers of the column headers. I mean, for first name, if you're talking about column index, it is the column number, the number of the column that we are trying to look up this information from, right? And we are looking for first name under this particular extract one table. So which index does, which column does first name belongs to? So this is column number one, the employee ID, the column number two, last name, and then column number three, first name. So column index number for the first name is going to be 3. And then VLOOKUP is going to ask you, do you want me to give you an approximate match? That is, if I see any employee that their number starts from 99, should I bring it? Or you want me to give you an exact match? Exact match in the sense that the employee's ID starts, if the employee ID is exactly 990,678, that is what I want you to do for me. And in most cases, it is always exact match. So you're going to select exact match, which is false, and then we close the bracket and hit enter. By the time we hit enter, we find out that the employee with the ID 990,678 is Brad. The person's first name is Brad. So in order not to be doing it one by one, we can just double click on our filler handle here. Double click on our filler handle, and Excel will do the rest for us automatically. And then we can see that employee with 8030385 is Prince. The first name of that person is Prince. And then you can see that the first name of that person is Prince. And then we have to do the same thing for their last name also. So we say equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value is still going to be F4. That is using what we have to get what we don't have. So VLOOKUP F4. The table array now, that is the same table that we are looking for, is still extract one. The column index for first name, while this for last name, I mean, while this first name was on column number 3, because if you count it, this is column 1, column 2, and column 3. While first name is on column 3, last name will be on column 2. So we say column index number is 2, comma, and then as usual, choose the false, we'll close the bracket, we hit enter. Now you can see that the first name of this person is Brad, and the last name of the person is Pete. So this is how to use VLOOKUP to find a pay report. And also the question is not done. The second part of the question said, find out who is the highest and the lowest earner of this list. Now, looking at this list, now we have somebody that is earning 84,000. We have someone earning 137, 190, 122, 11, 111, 85, 168, 98, 89, 149, 140, and so on like that. So we need to find out who is the highest earner and who is also the lowest earner. Now, looking at this data set, we can easily figure it out that this is the person that is earning the highest, right? Because it is showing, because the data set is also small. So we are able to handle it. But what if it is in a case where the data set is very, very large? Then we can't be doing it one by one anymore. So in that case, what we are going to do is we are going to select the whole data set, hold down your control, select on the first cell, select on this first cell that I am selected on, hold down your control and your shift from your keyboard and press your down button. Anytime you press your down button, Excel is going to select from the first cell to the last cell. From the first cell to the last cell. Remember, we want to sort to know who is the highest earner and who is earning the lowest. So when you've done the selection, just come to your sort and filter here. Under your home tab, come to sort and filter under editing and click on sort and filter. And then the question said we want to know the highest and the smallest. So we can choose to sort smallest to largest. And also we can also choose to store from largest to smallest. In this case, we are going to be storing from largest to smallest. So yes, Excel is asking if we want to expand the selection. So we want to click on OK. You will see that the highest person is now up and the lowest person is down. And the highest earner is Tony Stark with 190,024, followed by Peter Pan 168,114, and then followed by and decline 149,946. So we now know that. So in that case, what we are going to do is to provide an insight into what you have done by saying insight. Let's write something like insight here. Then we'll say the highest earner in the payroll is to the stack. In the stack with a total of 190,000 0.24, while the lowest earner is Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods with 64,757. That is it. You just answer the question. So we have done the two things that is asked of us. We need to find out who is the highest and the lowest earner on the list, and we have done that just by using our sorting method. And then we have also given insights into it. So that is that for exercise 1. For exercise 2, we are doing something that is almost the same method, and though So in that regard, I'm going to say the first, doing the same thing. So this time around, we have been asked to use VLOOKUP formulas to bring in the last name, the city, and the state of employees in the raw data extract session. Use VLOOKUP formula to bring in the last name, the city, and state of employees in the raw data extract session. And if you look at this particular table here, this particular pay report table, we have last name, we need to put in the last name, we need to put in the city. But if you look at the raw data extract one, we don't have anything like city here, right? We only have the last name. We don't have city here. But if you scroll down, you are going to see another table. So when this session ends in the next 10 minutes, please click on the link to rejoin back. Is that okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
Yes.
if you look at this second table now, this second table has the employee ID. Employee ID is the primary column or is the primary key. It is the only employee ID is the only common entity between all of them. This is employee ID, employee ID, employee ID. There has to be an identifier, a unique key, an identifier to always that is present in all of your table in order for you to join them together and model them together and use them to perform an operation or carry out an analysis or a modeling for that matter. So, which means we are going to be working with the two tables. We're going to be working with our extract two table and extra one table to to ensure that we find out what is asked of us. So in that regard, what we are going to do again is to convert this our data set to table by saying Control A and Control T. And then I'm going to say extract 2. Yeah, let me put it that way. Extract 2. Yeah. Oh no, sorry. So let me convert it to table again. Yeah. So let us click on OK. And then we can name the table here. Beside here, this side here. And name it extract 2. So we'll say equals to VLOOKUP again because we are asked to use VLOOKUP specifically. It's not as if there are not other formulas that we can use, especially the if function. So we say equals VLOOKUP. Our lookup value is still our employee ID, which is still F4. And the table arrays, that is the table you asked me about. The table, the table, the table we just got, the data set we just converted to table. So the name is extract 2. So we are going to choose extract 2, comma, and then the column index number of last name now. Column index number of last name is column number 2 because if we are counting it, we say employee ID is column number 1, last name is column number 2, first name is column number 3. So that is why we are going to be using 2 for our column index number, comma. If you don't press comma, exam will assume and it will keep assume you are still you are looking for what do you call it now? You are looking for something that is similar, but this time around you are looking for the exact. That is why we are using the exact match. So click on false, close brackets, and hit enter. So by the time we've done that, we know that this first person is Pete. So we can just come to the field and do double click on it, and then you'll see the rest being filled. And then they also said we should find out the city. Now, this table does not have city, but this particular table here has city. So which means we need to also join this extract two, we need to join it to this particular table. So what we are going to do in that regard is we're going to select on the data, select on any cell, the data like I am selecting. Then I'll use my control A to select everything. Then I will use my control T to convert it to table, control T. And then I'll go and rename my table to extract 3. Extract 3. I'm going to hit enter. Then yeah. So now that we've converted that to extract 3, so we'll come back to our table here. And then let's look at the name, the column index number of this city. This is employee ID is column number 1, city is column number 2, and state is column number 3. So in that regard, I will say equals VLOOKUP. The lookup value is F4. Sorry. The lookup value is F4. That is, we are using this first employee ID to test for the rest. So the lookup value is F4. And the table array now is extract 3. The extract 3 table that we just converted. So select extract 3. Extract 3. So select on that column. And then the column index number is 2. No, sorry, 2. Yeah. And then the approximate match is false. Yeah, false. So we'll close our bracket to hit enter. Now you can see that Pete with the number ID 990678 is from Austin City. So we can just double click down on this, and then you can see the rest fill themselves automatically. And for us to confirm, I'll come back to this particular table here, and then we can find Austin in Texas, and also with their employee ID, employee ID column. So this is the second assignment, and this is the second exercise of this particular PDF. So I'm going to go to the third one now. So which is more of the same thing. Yeah. So this particular one is saying that we should specify a band. Now this one is saying we should use VLOOKUP's approximate match to bring in the pay band that label use VLOOKUP's approximate match to bring in the pay band label for the pay range. That is, we need to attach a pay band or level to every one of these employees and their pay. For instance, if somebody is earning from 10,000 to 20,000, you can choose to call them level. You should call them, let's say, level A. If somebody is earning about 50,000, you should call them level B. If somebody is earning like 40 to 50, you can call that person level C, and so on and so forth. So that is what we are asked to do. So in this regard, we can just come here, convert our data set to table, control A, control T, hit enter, and then we can say pay table, or pay band. Now let's call it pay band. Then I'll come back to my VLOOKUP and say equals VLOOKUP. Now the lookup value is the same primary key, right? So The lookup value is still going to be F4. No, E4, I mean E4, E4, comma. The table array is the pay band. Now, yeah, now the column index for the pay band is is oh, sorry, I think we are going to nest another function with this one. This we are going to nest the nest if error. So it's going to be equals if error, and then we'll open our VLOOKUP. Now F4 extract, okay, sorry,